Hi guys, today we're going to do another one of those things that I've seen on Pinterest, but with a slight twist on it. It's basically a couple of horseshoe hearts that are sort of intertwined. So I'm going to start with a couple of, these are actually new shoes, because I want them flat, and so it's going to be slightly different. The ones on Pinterest were cut and welded, these are actually going to be forged. You've probably seen my horseshoe heart video anyway, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just going to get it done and then put them together into what will hopefully be quite nice. I've turned the camera around a bit this time, and I hope you'll be able to see what I'm doing from this way. We'll give it a go and then turn it around and do one from the other direction. So let's see how we get on. First thing we want to do is open it up. I will give you a brief description, although most of you have probably seen it already. For those who may not have done, now I have put a centre mark in here, just a tiny little dot. I've got the wrong hammer. I want my turning hammer, not that one, this one, with a rounded end. Yeah, I did put a slight centre dot in, and you just hit it above and below. If you can see that, get a nice V. That's the sort of thing we're looking for. Lots of people have different ways of doing these. I was never taught how to do this, make these. Do the second one. It's the beauty of doing a pair. You've got while you're working on one, the other one's heating up. Find the centre. Can't see it. Might scale off. It's about there, I think. No, doesn't look right. That's about it. Yeah, as I say, I was never taught to do these. I just saw someone doing one on one of these YouTube videos. I thought I'd have a go, and my method is slightly different to other people's. And that's the whole thing about this. You adapt and you make your own methods. Do things that suit you and the way you work. You don't have to follow textbooks and rules and regulations. I think I'll turn the camera around now for the other part so we can see a bit better from this end. Right, now what I'm going to do is just elongate that taper. Can't really see it very well from there. I've got the camera in the wrong spot really. But basically I'm using the rounded end of the hammer and elongating the... No, I'm not. I'm using the flat edge of the hammer over the rounded end of the bick to just elongate the taper. Just makes the thing look a bit better. You see there, it's sort of made the taper much longer. Try and keep it flat as usual. I'm going to polish the front of these a little bit, so I'm going to try and keep the scale down. So clean off your anvil whenever you can. Otherwise all you're doing is working it back into your steel and it's making little pits in the steel. So when you clean it off, you've got lots of little divots where the scale was, which you can grind out, but obviously if you haven't got them in the first place, you don't have to bother mucking about. See, that's the sort of thing, just elongating the taper a little bit. Keep it level. I'm sort of fiddle-arsing about here a bit more than I need to, but I want to get these quite nice because I'm going to do this for the wife. So although it's a quick demo, I do want to make it quite nice. Now you just got to... We've done the first bit, now we've got to just turn the, I don't know what you call it, the top half of the heart up over. So we get the branches hot. And so while you're doing 2, it's quite good. It's like shoemaking when you've got 4 in the fire. Because while you're working on one, the others are all heating up, so you should be able to almost work continuously. And just pull this back over, and then as it comes right over, you really give it some beans to taper out that very end. This is twisted a bit, this one, but I should be able to square it up. It's basically twisted because of the concave groove in it. It hasn't squashed down evenly. I should be able to bodge it somehow. It wants to come round, well, the way I do it, it wants to come round quite a long way, because I like the points to sort of start coming down again in towards the middle of the heart, rather than meeting. So you can see there. Hopefully the other one should be nearly ready. It's not. Turn the camera around again, see if it looks any better from this direction. Probably not. So gently pull it round and then give it some beans there. It squashes it down. You will vary your excuse me, your hammer blows so that you get a nice taper rather than a jagged taper. If you can do it as you're making the thing, it just saves on time trying to get all hammer marks and things out afterwards, and also it distorts the shoe less. Not necessarily the shoe, any job you're doing. If you can get it done as you're actually making it, rather than having to tickle about afterwards, you're obviously doing less damage to it, and it's quicker. Really ought to turn the fire up a little bit, but feeling a bit lazy today. Now then, should be able to see from this angle. Mucking about with the camera angles today. That's a bit better. Pull it round gently. Increase, increase, increase until you're giving it some right on that end. It doesn't probably look like I'm going gentle and then harder and harder, but trust me, I am. Which is why obviously it tapers. There you go, you want to get them pretty similar if you can, like a pair, so that they look quite nice when they come together. You don't want one great big long one and one short fat one. This is the last one. Gently, gently, harder, 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 harder. Something like that anyway. Keep it clean. Probably a bit lax there, I should have done that a long while ago. Very end round. And there again, fairly similar. The next job is close it up. Which you can't really see very well there. Move the camera up, you get the idea. I want to get that warm and tickle that around a little bit because it's not exactly how I want it, but it ain't far off. Again, I don't think the other one's quite hot enough yet. If I was doing that when I was working for my boss, if the next shoe wasn't ready to come out the fire, because I used to be, before I made my own shoes, I was what they call a fireman, and you just work the fire. And if that next shoe wasn't ready by the time you chuck the other one back onto the forge, you'd get in hell of a trouble. That one's gone a bit cockeyed. Strain her up a bit. And again, so it's fairly there, almost. So they're not going to be perfect, because that's the whole beauty of handmade stuff. It never is perfect. It's machines that make perfect stuff. And people seem to like the handmade effect. I just got it warm, just going to give it a little tap around. Now at this stage you want to be careful, because you can get it to go out of shape quite easily, so just use very gentle hammer blows. Make sure you know where you want to hit it before you do it, because as I say, it can go out of shape really easily, and that I'm going to probably leave it about that. Then again, might not. And as I say, once it's gone out of shape, you can do all sorts of damage getting it back into shape. I just wanted to close that up a little bit. It was a bit too round. Keep it level. Yeah, looks not too bad. So I've been a bit fussy today because it's going to be for the wife, so, but that's pretty close to what I want. So not perfect, but it's handmade. Anyone would think I was going to put that on a horse, or I keep mucking about with it. Anyway, let's try and do the same with the other one. Just get it somewhere near. Now, I've closed that up, but I think I've made the points sort of go away from each other, so I've just got to close them back up. That's what I was doing there. Keeping them close together. That's about it. That's the sort of thing I was looking for. So I think what we'll do, we'll probably call it a day at that. We'll call them out and clean them up. So call them out. What I'm going to do now is just roughly with a wire brush take the worst of the scale off and get in everywhere. Just take the worst off, get in the groove. I've got another wire wheel that goes the opposite way, so it would probably get down in that groove a bit better, but can't be asked to change it. Let's do the back. You're amazed how nice just doing this makes it. Just takes all the loose scale off and just gives it a little bit of a luster. When I make the horseshoe trivets and all sorts of things like that, I just do that and give them a quick coat of lacquer. And after a few months, they darken. They go quite nice. I think the steel must oxidise or something or other under the lacquer. And they just darken and darken and darken until you get a really nice sort of patina on them. And get in that groove. Quite difficult with a new shoe because it's quite deep. These, you might think it's a bit of a waste using new shoes, but I bought them actually for another job. I don't even know if I did a video of it. I made a great big horseshoe wine rack. There you go, got the 2 done. And these are just a few left that I had from the making the wine rack, so they're paid for really. And what I'm going to do, just clean off the groove, not the groove, the bit that sticks up, the two lines with a flat disc. So I want them quite shiny. So it's not particularly fine flat disc. It'd be better if it was a bit finer, but I haven't got any fine ones, so this will have to do. I might run it over that grey polishing wheel that I've got that you may have seen in my other polishing video, just to take some of the grinding marks out. I'll see what it looks like once I've done it. You see there, it's just brought the shine up, and you'll see why I'm doing that in a few minutes. Do the other one. Sorry that the camera hasn't focused on it. It seems to be focusing on that box and hoover at the back of the workshop for some reason. Not quite sure why. I think it's because it's pretty dark in here. And it picks on something and sticks to it. You get the idea of what I'm doing. There you go. You can see now it's focused, shined up a bit. Right, now the reason I wanted to shine them up is because I'm going to put names on them. Just down on the flat at the bottom there. Just make it personalised. So I've got an old set of letter stamps. I'm going to make sure I get these the right way up. I did a job where I stamped something the other day and I stamped the blooming first letter upside down. So I have to check now on each one. I can't seem to find the letter I want. I should have got them all out before I started, rather than trying to find them in the box as I go. So next one. Luckily neither of us have got particularly long names. So it shouldn't take too long if I can find the right punches. And these are quite small punches. I'm not exactly sure what size they are, but they're just big enough or small enough to go on that edge, whatever you call it. So you can still read it. One more. If I can find it. There we go. I think that's the last one. There you go. You can see that. What I shall do, I'll just run that grey sanding disc over there and just take all the edges off. And I'll do mine as well. Right, got them done. I've just quickly run the names under that wheel, and it just takes the rough edges off where you've stamped it, and they sort of stick up and it makes them rough, so I've just taken that off. And what I need to do is open them up, slide one inside the other, and close them back up again. So I'll stick it in the vise, and actually I think I'd be better off doing this the other way around. Yeah, it might be easier that way around. And get my little adjustable on it. Just open it up. Doesn't need to go far. And then just drop the other one inside. It'll go. Make sure you get it on the right way around, obviously. And then just tweak it back. And that's done. Just doing it that way, cold, you don't destroy any of the lettering or your polishing or whatever it is you're going to do. So now what I need to do is try and fix it somehow. I'm going to have to put a tack of weld on the back. So I've got to get it where I feel it looks right. And then just put a little tack of weld on the back. to hold it in place, because it won't stay there otherwise. Just on the back there. Right, I've got it set up. Oh, I thought I'd got that clamped up, but obviously not. I think that's moved, so I'm going to have another quick look just to make sure. I need to weld it up and find it's in the wrong place. This is actually quite tricky to get them to sit where you want them. I think that's got it. So I'm just going to put one quick tack. That's it, that's all we needed. If you can see in there. And that's about it. So it's different from the one on Pinterest, but I'll put something through there, a bit of string or ribbon or something or other. Well, I might get the wife to do that. Give it a coat of lacquer. And that'll be quite nice. I think she'll like that. So it's slightly different from the one on there that I saw. You won't get this on eBay or Etsy. Personalised and forged. The others were, as I say, I think they were just cut and welded. So there you go, that's my take on a sort of special gift for a special person. Hope she'll like it, and I hope your loved ones will too. Thanks for watching.